I'm here on the floor at the House of Representatives, and I'm with the Arizona State Representative, Mr. Paul Boyer. Now, Mr. Boyer, first of all, thank you so much for letting us come out here today. We get to hang out with you for a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. This is fantastic. I drive by North Point all the time. It's in my district.
All right, so everyone's focus right now is on the national election, but state and local elections are important too. But why are they?
They are critical, and here's why. We tend to focus solely on the national, but we really should focus on the local elections as well. For example, Proposition 205, which is a marijuana monopoly that current medical marijuana dispensary owners are trying to get onto the ballot, that would allow anyone 21 years of age or older to consume, possess, transport up to a certain amount of marijuana, but it also removes any penalty for driving while under the influence of marijuana. It upends driving while under the influence of drug laws, property rights, employer rights, and also child custody laws. So it's not just recreational marijuana. In addition to Proposition 206, the other proposition that's on the ballot, and that's the minimum wage increase. And here's why high schoolers in particular should be very worried about 206. So as most business owners in Arizona are small business owners. Any way you look at the numbers, at least 90% of all businesses in Arizona are small businesses. And they tend to have a small operating total cost of operation, a margin for error. They don't have a whole lot. And so this will harm those who are trying to enter the marketplace, in particular, high schoolers, and those with low skills that are trying to start at the minimum, of course, but to build up after they've built up their skills and abilities and education level where they can get something that pays more to begin with.
So like you mentioned earlier, you represent District 20, which is where North Point is at. So how long have you been a part of it?
So this is my fourth full year as a state legislator, and I also worked for 3 years on House Majority staff, where I advised the Speaker, other majority staff on majority policy, and also on the budget itself.
All right, now can you tell us about your job?
It really depends. I mean, since we're in the interim, right now we're not in session. We meet the second Monday every January, and we're in session until roughly we pass a budget. And that takes about usually 3 months, maybe 4 months. So right now we're in the interim period where we're planning for policy for next year. So for example, what I'm working on right now is, to my knowledge, we have about 158 physics certified teachers in the entire state of Arizona. To me, that's unacceptable. If there's students in the state of Arizona that want to take a physics class, they should be able to take physics. And so I'm working with ASU right now, because they have such a great program, to allow for maybe a pilot program where if you have a Bachelor's of Science in, say, chemistry, biology, any science degree, and maybe you can take 8, maybe 16 weeks of physics, then you can get a certification to teach physics in K-12.
All right, so Mr. Boyer, I have one final question for you. Trump or Clinton?
Neither one.
Neither, why?
I support Evan McMullin. He's an independent, and I think he could win Utah. And here's the deal. If neither candidate can get 270 electoral votes and Evan McMullin wins Utah, then it would go back to the House per the Constitution, and they could select Evan McMullin as our next president. It's a long shot, but at least we get a conservative in there.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining me. It was
Sure.
So nice to meet you,
Thanks
and
for
thank
having
you.
me. Thank you.